Hello everyone from a new day of the ongoing confliction between Ukraine and Russia. Welcome to our map report in which we share details about the confliction between the Ukrainian Armed Forces and Russian Armed Forces. We will soon review the latest developments on the front line together. There have been numerous reports that the Ukrainian troops have achieved significant success in recent days. As you may recall, recently, the Ukrainian Armed Forces had almost approached important points on the Zaporizhian front line. There are reports that Ukrainian troops have won victories in some of these regions. So, what is the latest situation in the region? Let's take a look at the developments together. As the Pioneer team, we continue to convey the confliction between Russia and Ukraine to you. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and open notifications to be informed about our daily map analysis and reports on the agenda. I'm also reading all your comments. Please indicate your opinion about our content in the comments. The Pioneer reports. At the beginning of our report, I stated to you that the Ukrainian troops had won victories in some areas. You must have guessed where the mentioned regions are based on our previous reports. Yes, as you know, the Ukrainian Armed Forces managed to repel Russian troops in the Urozhaine region. The village of Urozhaine is now under the control of the Ukrainian army. As you know, the Ukrainian army had started its advance in the direction of Urozhaine after liberating the Zaporizhian. In addition, the northern neighborhoods of the region had come under the domination of the Ukrainian army a very short time ago. But the Ukrainian Armed Forces recently launched a furious offensive during the evening rush hour. This attack marked the end of the dominance of Russian troops in the Urozhaine. Now you see the Urozhaine region on the map. Ukrainian troops had surrendered the Urozhaine region from 3 fronts. The siege had also been going on for a long time. Ukrainian artillery units were pounding this area intensively. Thanks to this, the Russian positions were greatly softened. Russian sources on the region, on the other hand, were constantly inviting the Russian general staff to take measures about the Urozhaine, because it seems impossible that the Urozhaine region would not fall into the hands of Ukrainian forces. And the expected happened. Ukrainian troops managed to repel Russian troops to the south of Urozhaine. Russian sources, on the other hand, used the following statements about the victory of Ukrainian troops. The village of Urozhaine, Volnovakha region, Donetsk People's Republic, had temporarily come under the control of Ukrainian forces as of tonight. The village defense was heroically carried out by our units for 11 days. However, at this point, our troops have no strength left to protect Urozhaine. Therefore, our troops in the region had to withdraw. As you can imagine, the withdrawal of Russian troops from Urozhaine caused a great trauma in Russian army, because the official sources of the Russian Armed Forces were talking about the heroic struggle of Russian soldiers in the region, and the attacks of Ukrainian troops failed. However, with the injury of Ukrainian troops in Urozhaine by repulsing the Russian Defense Forces, the lies of sources belonging to the Russian Armed Forces were also revealed. According to recent reports, Ukrainian troops have started building new defensive fortifications in the region. These defensive fortifications are being built to protect Urozhaine and Zaporizhian. At the same time, preparations are being made for the start of new attacks by Ukrainian troops in the region. As you can see on the map, the settlements around Urozhaine are located in southern direction. Therefore, many military experts claim that new attacks by Ukrainian troops may be in the direction of Zaporizhian. As you can see, there is a river here. Rivers and environment of natural resources are very important during wars. Also, these red dots that you see on the map represent the Russian troops in the region. As you can see on the map, the Russian 37th Separate Guard Motor Rifle Brigade is located south of Urozhaine, while the 6th Separate Motor Rifle Brigade and the 247th Guard Air Assault Regiment are located around Zaporizhian. Therefore, the fact that the armed forces of Ukraine have launched an attack on these regions means that the Russian troops mentioned in this name in the region are also under great threat. According to local sources, these troops are one of the most important Russian troops on the Zaporizhia front line. Therefore, it is possible to say that this region has turned into a ring of fire for Russian armed forces. I can say that we will see the effects of the Urozhaine region coming under the control of Ukrainian armed forces for a long time. I also think that the scenarios we have just mentioned are experienced. There is a fairly high probability that these effects will be even greater. time will tell us the situation in the region most clearly. We used a large part of today's map report for Urozhaine region. However, we prefer to examine this region more carefully because we think that developments in this region are of a great importance for the course of the war. Now let's continue with the Robotin zone. As you will remember from both our agenda reports and map analysis reports, the Russian positions in the Robotin region had greatly softened. Attacks by Ukrainian troops are continuing in the region. According to latest claims of local sources, Ukrainian troops carried out an operation in which they participated in armored vehicles. During the operation in question, Russian troops suffered heavy losses. As you may recall, Ukrainian troops had recently entered the Robotin region. Ukrainian troops entering the Robotin region shared images from the entrance of the village, but Ukrainian dominance had not been confirmed. The uncertainty in the region continues. According to the latest reports, clashes are continuing between Ukrainian troops and Russian troops on the outskirts of Robotin. According to the claims of local sources, there is instability in the territorial dominance in the region. However, we think that this situation may change in the coming days. Ukrainian troops have shifted the weight of the offensive to the Zaporizhia front line in recent days. According to the latest reports of local sources, the Bakhmut and the northern front line remain quiet. There are reports that a new preparation has started, especially in the case of Bakhmut. I would like to end the daily report by looking at the Bakhmut region on the map for the last time. Ukrainian troops maintain control over the dominant hills around Klishchivka. Clashes are taking place between Ukrainian troops and Russian troops in the region. However, these have become quite insignificant and routine events. We also see that the situation is stable in Berkhivka and Yahidny, which are located on the northern flanks of Bakhmut. Mutual attacks are taking place between the Russian artillery units stationed in the region and the Ukrainian artillery units. However, the situation in the region is largely stable. And what do you think? How do you think the entry of Urozhaine into Ukrainian control will affect the war? What actions do you think Russian troops will take in the face of the recent events? Do you think the Ukrainian army will advance to the south of Urozhaine? Mention it in the comments. I'm reading and caring about your comments.